This is Umar for BoxNation. We're at Milo's restaurant here in Regent Street, one of your dad's favourite places. You've enjoyed it today as well, Francis?
Been a lovely day. Lovely day. Love to catch up with everyone after a successful week last week.
Successful? It was a whitewash.
Listen, you don't want to gloat, not straight away anyway.
I found it interesting actually that your dad and Eddie obviously on the flight back, and it's actually been really respectful. Your dad's said the same thing as Eddie. They actually need to just get on with work, so there's not been much gloating. But I know within the teams, the staff, etc., there was that late flight back, and I think a few of the Matchroom staff did get it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, because that's the nature of rivalry. You got to the victor, the spoils to the victor, isn't it? The victor go to the spoils. It's sport, and sport's nothing without its fierce competition, and that goes for the guys. The press wanted to do the best work possible. All the staff wanted to make sure that that they did the best job for their respective promotional teams. The fighters, all the way up to my dad. Everyone wanted to win, and I think everyone from both sides did a remarkable job last week in Riad. Not just last week. The whole thing has just been it's been very professional. We've managed to get keep the rivalry and the fierce competition narrative going, because it is definitely 100% real, but without it descending into chaos and name calling, which you could have done. You could have ended up getting the right ump with each other, and it gets there's fallout. So the main thing for me was the professionalism of the rivalry, and I just think it was just a wonderful thing to be part of, and that was before the results. So once we got to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5-0, it was just brilliant. It really was brilliant, and Eddie took it took it very well, and just roll on to the next. If we were sitting here like arseholes and we smash it, giving it, they might be less inclined to do it again, and we wouldn't be able to, give them another spanking.
Well, the boss has been here, your dad obviously, and we've had the captain here. I want to start with his performance, Hamzah Sheeraz. How impressive was he? Very.
Coming of age fight for him. I think had a couple of shaky moments early on, but Ammo Williams is 18, 19-0. Touted as one of the next big American stars. Looks like he's cut from iron, absolutely ripped to pieces. Strong, fast, aggressive, great head movement, quick feet, and he'll go on and do some seriously damaging things in this sport. He's a class act, and to overcome those first couple of rounds, for Hamzah, it showed that he's maturing. We all know he's an absolute gentleman and a consummate professional outside the ring. But inside the ring, he had to mature pretty quickly. Looked like he wanted to have a bit of a tear up with him, actually, with Ammo, and I think Hamzah, he obviously got some good instructions in the corner, and went back to his jab, went back to basics, and he broke Ammo down. And it was just after a round and a half, when he had to switch back on again, when he had to get really switched on, it was a punch perfect performance until he finally got the stoppage. So he set himself up with some terrific options. Everyone's talking about the Eubank Jr fight. Sorry, I interrupted you there. Everyone's talking about the Eubank Jr fight, and I just think that anyone who's anyone in boxing would love to see that fight. And
does he stop Chris Eubank Jr?
He stops Chris Eubank Jr. I think Chris. I think I rate, obviously, whether he gives a shit or not, if I rate him or not, but I rated Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's had a fantastic career. To insist on He showed. I had a lot more respect for Chris after he insisted on that rematch with Liam Smith, and he come in and done a great job against Liam. Whether Liam was injured or not is besides the point. But he showed true heart, determination, and resilience to come back and want that rematch immediately. So Hamzah's got it all to do. If he has an off night, Hamzah, he's there for Chris for the taking. But I think Hamzah would be, I think he's a favourite in that fight, and I would expect him to break it if he switched on. Get in there, breaking down, and if you can out jab Chris Eubank, you'll stop him.
Well, a dream scenario would be we get Hamzah Sheeraz with Chris Eubank Jr at Wembley Stadium, which is followed by Anthony Joshua v Daniel Dubois, and that is the fight I think we're heading to. Nothing's been confirmed or agreed. Considering Daniel's just beat a world-class fighter in Filip Hrgović, and the way he did it, how much of a chance do we give him against Anthony Joshua, Francis?
Every chance. Absolutely every chance. Daniel's learned how to overcome some adversity, obviously. People questioned his grit and his determination and his ability to fight through some pain. Go and ask Tyson Fury if he thinks Daniel Dubois quit now after the Usyk fight. He didn't quit. He got hurt, and I think it was too much for him on the night. Usyk's the best fighter on the best heavyweight on the planet, and he'd give him a real fight, and then to go away, learn, and knuckle down. The Jarrell Miller fight, I think, gave him amazing amount of confidence to be able to get through, to get through the hurt, and know that he could still inflict some damage on his opponents in the later rounds, like he did against Jarrell. Again, same as Hamzah, he had to overcome the first 2 rounds. I thought, oh shit, like Hrgović is on it tonight, and Daniel wasn't moving his head, didn't have his left up, didn't have his left up. He had no protection against that overhand right that Hrgović continuously landed. He couldn't miss it in the first 2 rounds, and we all thought, oh shit, like this is going to be a tough night for him. But he bit down his gum shield, and God, did he beat him up? He roughed him up. He was in there. He had his head on his chest. He was rolling shots, and he beat the shit out of him. It wasn't particularly technical, but he absolutely battered him from pillar to post. And we're talking about an elite heavyweight, someone who's been at the top of the IBF rankings for 4 years, waiting for. Everyone's saying it should have been the real challenger to Usyk, and Daniel Dubois just went in and dismantled him. So AJ's got one tough night if that gets made.
Everyone will talk about that spar if that fight happens. The spar between Joshua and Dubois. Have you heard much about it, Francis?
I've heard loads about it, but I don't like sparring stories. I don't like them. I don't think they're fair. I don't think they're right. You don't know what someone's working on one day, and I think sparring stories are great. Listen, they're good. They're good ones for people to talk about in the build-up, and it creates a bit of extra buzz. But I don't think shouldn't be for public consumption. I think
Hrgović definitely wanted to talk about it.
Well, look what happened to him, so fuck him.
Okay, keeping with the heavyweight division, on this cover of the Boxing News, you might want to hold it up actually.
Let's get his page up. Where's the man? Here he is.
Go on, hold that up for us, please.
Here's the boy. He's the man. Future man.
That's what Boxing News have put. You probably won't read it at the front because you've got a massive poster. If you go at the front of the cover, it's a really good cover actually.
Queensbury do rule. Queensbury do.
But just in that section there, Moses Itauma.
Eyes the throne.
Eyes the throne, it says.
He's the future. He's the future superstar of world boxing, no doubt. No doubt.
We had a lunch in Riad with your dad. Moses was there, and there was some very good names being touted.
Yeah.
Have we got any closer, perhaps, to securing one of those names for Moses?
They will. It's tough. Listen, these guys, they're heavyweight fighters. Obviously, they none of them want to get beat by a 19-year-old guy who's 9-0, and especially not one who's. You would pretty much guarantee that he's going to get the win just based on his natural ability and his. And what he brings to the party. We've made offers to some of those guys. Those offers have been turned down. So we're going to keep looking. I'm not going to keep mentioning names because it seems to have maybe backfired on me a little bit, to be honest. However, there are some guys that will take the fight, and there'll be good learning fights for Moses. And you'll see another devastating performance on the 27th of July. He'll defend his WBO Intercontinental. I think after conversations with my dad and Moses as well, I think we want to track down that British title by the end of the year. I think I would love him to fight for the British title on the undercard of Fury and Usyk. That would just be brilliant. I mean, it would just be an amazing event to be part of. I'm not saying that that's why I drive my old man crazy and my brother crazy about getting him on cards because, I think he is the heir apparent. but he has still got some learning to do, obviously. But that's what we want. That's what Moses and I are going to start banging the drum about, and I already have done within the team at Queensbury. We want the British title by the end of the year, and what better place for him to be crowned British champion than on a card, a card of such magnitude. He's got everything, and what he has also got is he's put the fear factor into a lot of guys that, the message I get back, well, we've got a good record, good ranking, you're going to have to pay us fortunes to come over and get beat by a 19-year-old. They're the messages I get back. It's not, it's ludicrous money that people are asking for, and obviously Moses is 9-0. He is 9-0, so at some point we'll have to bite the bullet and bring one of the bigger guys over. But at the moment, whilst he's learning, and there's good fights out there. I love the Schwartz fight, but when I'm trying my hardest.
You said you stopped mentioning names.
But I've got respect for Tom and Flavio, because they're actually coming back to us with genuine conversations. So
that's a genuine possibility, Tom Schwartz,
and that potentially could go in September, October. Right. I think maybe it'll be one of the names I mentioned in our previous interview out in Riad. It'll be one of those names potentially September, October, and then we'd like the British title in December. But he's fighting July 27th. I'm not going to say the names, but they're in the top 80 of BoxRec. So for Moses, I think he's at 74, and I'm not putting too much on BoxRec rankings. But at least you would have heard of a couple of these guys. They've got some previous with other fighters that you can make direct comparisons to, which I think is important to gauge his progress. And we're just on to the next.
Very experienced in this game now, Francis. This seems like a unique.
Do I look it?
I'm not saying that. It seems like an extremely unique situation, not just with yourself, of course. Any manager I've spoke to about Moses in terms of how hard it is to get sparring, some of the messages you're getting back, how expensive it must be to secure sparring and actual fights for him. This seems like a very one-off situation with Moses.
I think I mentioned to Dec before that I've managed guys now for a good few years, and obviously I've been in the business. I started in the business working for my dad. I actually started press and then event management, and then went around the country with Dean Powell in and out of gyms and getting to know, had to spot a fighter and talk to fighters, without and interact with the guys, and and I landed on this role of a one-on-one relationship with fighters through natural progression, and that's what I love doing. And I've got I look after Sam Noakes and his brother Sean and Henry Turner, and whereas those guys, when they turn pro, they're a work in as Moses is a work in progress, but you have a probably I don't want to speak out of turn. It's shorter term goals with majority of guys that turn pro. You have a short term goal, achieve that, then you go to the next one. So Sam Noakes is British champion. Then we said, right, next one is European champion. The next one, Henry Turner, he's got a title. He's had a couple of title fights, and then the next goal is the British title. Moses' aim is world title, and he's expected to do it from day one. So the expectation on him is obviously shared between myself, between Queensbury, between his training team, between everybody, because he's growing up in front of the world with this massive expectation on his shoulders that he's put there himself as well, by the way. It's not like he said, oh, hopefully I'll do it. He says, I am going to do it. I am going to be a world champion. So it is a very unique experience to be looking after a guy that everybody expects to go to the very top. Everybody. There's not one person I've spoken to that says he won't be a world champion. So it's great pressure. I love it. I'm absolutely thriving on it. I feel like I've got a new rocket up my arse within this business, because listen, everyone gets a bit complacent and takes things for granted. And I've been guilty of that over my within my career in boxing. And this is just something that we've worked hard on, and has given me such a grit about this sport again, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
Good. Last one, Sam Noakes, another one of your stars.
Little bro.
Obviously, great win over Mendy last time. Potentially, could we see a fight with Berancic? Obviously, Frank represents him, world champion. Is that something you're targeting, Francis?
We want Berancic. We'd love that fight next. September, October. Love it. 100% we want it next. Not sure if it's feasible at the moment. At the moment, what's more realistic is that Sam will defend his European title. He's got a mandatory challenger that he'll make a defence of his European title. And also his WBO international. That should propel him further up the WBO rankings, so we may have to hunt him down. Excuse me. We've also obviously got, and I am going to start talking about it again, the Mark Chamberlain fight, because Mark's having a terrific time over in Saudi at the moment, and good luck to him. I wish him all the very best with doing that. You know, his manager's doing a great job for him, and obviously his promotional team. But you know, Sam's got on his own career path at the moment. But I think these two, I'd like to see them two meet within the next 12 months. And if Mark perhaps gets the Branchik fight before Sam does, then we'll fight the winner. You know, I just think that between the three guys, you've got three world-class lightweights there. We could see a nice little round robin or something like that. You know, I just think that Sam is more than ready for that fight. But in the meantime, you know, you don't want to keep dangling carrots that aren't achievable. So I think at the moment we're quite happy with the European title fight. We'll keep a close eye on what everybody else is doing, but we're focused mainly on what Sam's needs are and what the best thing is for him to develop his career. What I will say though is that he is the most genuinely nice fella one of I've ever met. I just can't tell you how respectful and honourable and loyal that the guy is. And you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. He speaks his mind. If he's pissed off or if he wants to get his point across, he's not backwards in coming forwards. But what I will say is he's just a delight to work with, and his family are terrific. Sean's coming up as well. He's going to have a good fight on the 27th of July against Indabassi. Working on to get that for the English title for him. So things are going good for the Noakes family, and he knows as well as he knows that all we do is graft and grind to make sure that he gets the best opportunities possible.
Okay, Francis Warren, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Umar, top man.
BoxNation, we'll see you soon, all right?
Cheers, mate.
God bless.